Sitting up in my bed one Kansas morning, I thought, 5 a.m. is way too early. Looking at the morning temperatures, I realized it was already in the 90s. It was going to be a hot day, probably over 100 degrees. In fact, most days after work I was exhausted and drenched with sweat. I began to wonder, what makes the people who work at the Land Institute, like the founder Wes Jackson, passionate to perform the arduous tasks needed to complete what is essentially their life's work? Earlier in the internship, we planted about 20,000 wheatgrass plants with one of the scientists. We even worked extra time on the weekends to get them planted. However, to the dismay of all of us, close to 80% of these plants lay dead, wilting in the sun. Surprisingly, this did not keep the scientists from pressing on with their research. For them, it was just part of their work. It became apparent that I did not completely understand what motivates these people to commit to a lifetime of research in the face of such adversity. They must constantly face problems such as droughts, weeds, pests, and fires. In the end, most of their plants will not even yield positive results. However, by working closer with the scientists, I realized that it's not only the results that bring about satisfaction, it's also the journey they take to get there, and the connection they feel with the land. Also, they are not just growing crops for the sole purpose of sending them to a supermarket. They are searching for ways that can save our civilization. They ardently believe that their work must be done in order to save us from ourselves. The world's growing population must have food. However, it must also secure and preserve its priceless natural ecosystems for future generations. Ultimately, it is this cause that fuels all the researchers and employees of the Land Institute. With all this in mind, it became very easy for me to get up at 5 a.m., smile, grab a hoe, and find the energy to get to work. As Wes Jackson said many times while I was there, if your life's work can be accomplished in your lifetime, you're not thinking big enough.